It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New York Jets. And it's coming up next on Madden NFL 25.
Take the Lincoln Tunnel through Weehawken, through Secaucus, across the Hackensack River, and you'll arrive, as we have, at MetLife Stadium at East Rutherford, New Jersey. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand. Kickoff just moments away. Charles, quickly, keys to the game.
For me, it's coaching. Who prepared his team the best going into this one to give them the confidence to believe that they would win the game? That's who's going to come out of this one on top.
Anders Carlson has this teed up, ready to get started. And off we go from MetLife Stadium. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. So out come the Steelers now for their first drive. They'll be led out by the former Cal Bear, Aaron Rodgers.
There have been very few quarterbacks in the NFL who have been as consistent throughout their career as Aaron Rodgers. He's been good for so long, and we've seen no decline in his skills. His accuracy and arm strength continue to elevate the talent around him, and his in-game mistakes, few and far between.
Right to the air is Rodgers. That's complete to DK Metcalf. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 16 yards on the game's first play and a quick first down.
What a start here to the ball game. You get the good kick return, followed by a quick first down through the air. If this defense isn't careful, they might be looking at a deficit before they know what hit them.
And this is going to be incomplete.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. Here's 2nd and 10. Now it's Rodgers. That's to the veteran. It's Robert Woods. And he'll get positive yardage there as he'll be touched down.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on, because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit.
Still 3rd down.
Bad time to get a delay of game penalty there. Not that there's a good time, but that makes it 3rd and 6. Rodgers to throw once more. A short one there to Freiermuth. And oh, he's just going to be short here, barely. Maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches. And now a decision here on the opening drive. 4th and very short, this part of the field. What do you think they do, CD?
I think you go for it. I think there's a lot of game left to be played. I like the advantage that they're trying to create here early. I say be aggressive and try and get it done.
And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. So now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. They'll be led out by a first-round pick back in 2021 from Ohio State. It's Justin Fields.
And not only does he have all the skills that you're looking for as a quarterback, he's incredibly tough and plays the game fearlessly as both a runner and a passer. You provide a good running game around him and let him throw deep off of play action, you've got an all-star in the making.
First carry for the Iowa State man, Breece Hall. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
They'll find Lazard here over the middle. Two yards still to go. Third down now. They'll run with Hall. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. Fourth down now after a loss of 2. So much for picking it up on the ground on third down. Third play of the drive, and this defense showing strong early.
I wonder how much of that was scouting. I wonder how much of that was a gut feeling like, okay, let's just go ahead and sell out here and get after them, thinking they're going to run the football and stuff them early, because they've now set the tone. They've set a precedent right here that if you're going to try and run the ball against us, it could be hard going throughout this game.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their second offensive possession. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. On play action, Rodgers. They'll roll him out right. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
And that's an early scramble that can be viewed positively by either side. From the offensive point of view, it begins to establish him as a possibility to keep it on certain plays. And defensively, they avoided giving up a huge play in one of their first tests in containing a quarterback on the run.
Rodgers now to throw. A short one there to Freiermuth. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
3rd and 3. Now run straight ahead with Warren. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. 12 yards that time, but a Pittsburgh first.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid gain.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. A handoff for Warren. No dice this go around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Here's Rodgers to throw. A throw on the run, but that's going to be incomplete.
And that's the knowledge you gain from being in this league for a long time. He's learned the hard way when to give up and fight another down. And that's a smart move to throw it away.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Throwing is Rodgers. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. That's caught inside the 20. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. DK Metcalf, 66 yards. And the Steelers are on the board first here this afternoon. Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute really well, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. Well, sometimes athleticism beats you as well. He just took off and went. And that's almost like one of your Turkey Bowl games, isn't it? Just go long,
Backyard.
man. I'll hit you. And it worked really well for them.
Boswell good with the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. That time a 6-play drive. And it's DK Metcalf who finishes things off with a touchdown reception. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. Well, now how about this return? And a pretty slick return there. Almost got it to the 45. Officially, they'll call him down at the 44. Back onto the field come the New York Jets for their second drive. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. That'll go for a gain of 7, and it'll be second down.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable second down.
From the 50, here's Fields. That's going to be caught by Josh Reynolds. His first catch, good for 8 and a first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Now Fields. Here's a diving catch right side. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
I'd have to say that whenever you see a good post route run, they do not like to let it end without the catch. Hence, that great diving play.
Yeah, lay it up there, let him go get it, and he got it. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Fields now to throw. That's complete right around the 8. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
I think as he began this throw, you saw that the area was congested, but he has a lot of confidence in his arm, and he fits that one in there nicely. They pick up the catch. Not much yardage afterwards.
They need 2. Here's 3rd down. Now it's Fields. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And the Jets are going to have 1st and goal coming up as they're able to convert there on 3rd and 2. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the 1st down.
He's got it. He'll get only 2 there, and it's 2nd and goal.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
2nd and goal from the 1. Again, Fields toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Now we got 3rd and goal coming up, and couldn't you imagine being in that huddle, partner? You know they're looking at each other saying, we can't come away with just 3 points after this drive.
Yeah, they've covered a lot of ground. They want more than that 3. The Steeler defense proving its mettle here. And now this is 3rd and goal. They'll look to run with Hall. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down.
One word comes to mind to me after that last play, and that's alert. That defense took a chance guessing the snap count, and they were so right. Got great push up front, and that forces 4th and goal.
And his kick here is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number one. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
So after the made field goal, here's Carlson to send it away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The Steelers offense and DK Metcalf getting ready to go back to work. And he's had an early impact on the game. Sensational so far. And they'll likely be looking to find more ways to get him involved. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
On the give, it's Warren. He takes this for 3 to the 29.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Foreseeing completion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. From the gun on third down, Rodgers. He's got his target. That's complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. A big play that time on the catch and run. 33 yards.
It's not a surprise when you read scouting reports and watch tape because you know he's a heck of a player. But he is so difficult to get down in the open field. They just want to get him the ball and let him do his thing.
So in Jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's Warren. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Jermaine Johnson there to bring him down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle. That's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain.
And he's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. Down inside the 10. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. DK Metcalf with his second touchdown of this opening quarter. And they are able to add on to their advantage. Still first quarter, 2 receiving touchdowns for him. How are they going to slow him down?
I think they're thinking about altering their game plan. Whatever they came in with, now maybe you switch a better cover guy to him. Or you make sure you have more people in his general area wherever he lines up to at least try and discourage them from throwing the ball to him.
Boswell for the extra point. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game. So the drive there took 6 plays. And it's DK Metcalf who finishes things off with a touchdown reception. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Second quarter now from MetLife Stadium. The Jets with the football here as they're looking at a 2nd down and 9 to go. Back to throw. Fields. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it's 3rd and 4 now. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
The offense on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Fields. And this is going to be incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's 4th down.
It's going to be another frustrating end to a drive here. This offense, they've not been able to get anything going in this first half. And now it's going to be time to gather on the sidelines and try and figure out what's going wrong. Who has an idea? Who has a plan? Time to implement it.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. We'll call that a 47-yard punt, a return of just 3. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The visitors' offense and their big play wideout getting ready to get back to work. And seemingly every time they've looked his way in this first half, it has resulted in a big play, as borne out by the numbers. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
Then confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. 2nd and 9. Here's Rodgers. A short one there to Freiermuth. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. 3rd catch of this first half for him, and this one is a 1st down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield. Good, strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Now a run with Warren, and he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it. It's 2nd down.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. 2nd down and 8. Now Rodgers. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Rodgers going to throw. He's got his man. That's Woods on the out route. And that's going to be another first down as the tackle made at the Jets' 42. Give them 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward.
Well, things are definitely going right for them here in the first half. Pick a down, any down, even 3rd down, no problem. They get a connection there and pick up a fresh set of downs, continuing to move the ball.
He'll get this down to the 38.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
From the 38 now, here's a 2nd down and 6. On the run, it's Warren. And he's going to get this down close to a first at about the Jets' 33. And a stoppage here. We're going to need to take a moment as a Jet was shaken up on that one. We'll get an update when we return to MetLife Stadium. So 3rd and inches, and this will be the 9th play of the drive. They fake the give. Now Rodgers. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he'll be out of bounds, able to get it down to the 25 there. That one good for 7 as this long drive continues and the chains move again.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
He'll take it inside the 25.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
This offense has converted 2 third downs on this drive already. This is 3rd and 4. Shotgun now for Rodgers. He's got his running back out of the backfield. And he will have a Steelers first down. He needed 5. He got it barely as it will officially go down as a gain of 5 yards.
Well, they've certainly done a nice job spreading the ball around on this drive. This time he gets it out to his back, and it's another nice play and another first down. They've got the defense on their heels a little bit. They're reacting instead of being aggressive and making plays.
And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. 2nd and 10. To throw, it's Rodgers. Right side complete. That's Woods. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry, ball gets tipped in the air, because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
Now it's Rodgers. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
And that drive was going pretty darn well. 3 previous times, converted on 3rd down. But on that one, the defense rose up and said, enough of that.
So on 4th down, the Steelers call on the number of Chris Boswell for the field goal try. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. Boswell's kick is good, and they will stretch the lead now to 17-3. So 3 points there, and they continue to build this first half lead.
Yeah, every little bit helps, and the more that you can put together drives and start controlling the tempo, controlling possession, finishing with points, the better off you're going to be.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. New York set to take the field. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground. Hall. And the defense closes quickly there. He'll get maybe a yard to the 33.
Defenses always talk about earning the right to rush the passer on 3rd down. And you know what offenses want? Win 1st down so they can set things up for themselves better.
And that wasn't helpful there. Not a big impact on 1st down. Ball at the 33, 2nd and 9. Here's Fields. Throw out wide is incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
And this offense on 3rd down today, they've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 9. Out of the gun, Fields. And that is incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early. And now it's 4th down.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight on just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up 4th down.
Here's the Jets punter now as he's on to kick it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. So just a 3-yard return following a punt of 45. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Steelers offense and Aaron Rodgers getting set for their next drive. And he's done everything you could have asked for coming in. He's spread it around. He hasn't taken many chances. And he's potentially on his way to a big game throwing the football. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And last time they were able to churn some clock. They got the field goal, added on to their lead. But that was a drive that was so long, it should have ended in a touchdown. You know that's how they felt.
And we'll both be headed to the airport after the game. But we probably should go to the post-game press conference because someone's going to ask the head coach about this drive. And he's going to profess that he was happy to get points.
But
and we know that's not true.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
After this type of a drive, not getting a touchdown, a huge disappointment.
Now Rodgers. Dancing to his left. What can't Aaron Rodgers do? The legwork there getting him to 1st.
They made a nice effort to stick him with a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep him from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
To throw is Rodgers. Throw left side complete. That's Warren. It'll go as a gain of 4, and it's 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Rodgers now to throw. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
Throwing now is Rodgers. That is caught. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. A sizable 16-yard chunk there. The drive continues. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
So they go from one 42-yard line to the other as they come up now 1st and 10. Warren will try the right side. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
I think if we put together a job description for a middle linebacker, we would start with being able to hold down things in the middle of the line of scrimmage and be able to take on blockers. But how about the guys who can go sideline to sideline and make plays?
Love a guy that can do that. We saw a perfect example of it right there. Throwing is Rodgers. Over the middle, complete. It's Warren. Call it a gain of 3 on the play. And it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive. They'll run it. Warren. And he's going to get to the 31, enough for the first down. 44 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Here's Rodgers to throw. This one finds Austin out right. So the completion good for 7 there, and it'll be 2nd down. Looking to throw. Rodgers. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. Now a timeout called for by the offense as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Rodgers. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Aaron Rodgers, 3 first-half touchdown passes. And the Steelers will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
Extra point now by Boswell. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points. So that one a long 11-play drive. And it ends with a Robert Woods touchdown reception. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. Now it looks like we're going to get a stoppage here. An injured Steeler on that last play. We'll get an update when we return to MetLife Stadium. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. I don't think they need to be reminded of the situation here. I mean, the clock is dwindling. 3-score deficit waiting for them at halftime unless they can get something on the board here before intermission. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Now a 2nd and 10. Here's Fields. Throw over the middle. He's got Ruckert. Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. This now a 3rd and 4. To throw is Fields. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. The Jets going to go ahead and use their final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Play action. It's Fields. Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete. So the pass goes out of bounds, but he was not outside of the tackle box when he threw that. He's got to be careful.
You and I both know if it's even close, they're going to give it to the quarterback. They don't want to throw that flag unnecessarily. So if you're just in the area, you're going to be okay.
Now Fields. That's to the sideline and incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Now it's Fields. To the sideline and incomplete.
And based on my math, they've only converted 1 time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. 3rd downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
Here's the Jets punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. And with time running down, they go down to a knee. So we've reached halftime here with the visiting Steelers out in front. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
This was an extremely one-sided first half. One team showed up, ready to go. The other's been in a daze thus far, but there's still plenty of time left for this one to tighten up significantly.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Jets going to get the football first, and they trail as well as we get back underway in this second half. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. The Jets offense and Breece Hall headed out onto the field. And he's had his fair share of troubles in this one, unfortunately. This defensive front has wreaked havoc throughout the contest, and he hasn't been able to create enough space to make something positive happen to this point. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball into the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game. This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
Fields now to throw. He'll find Lazard here over the middle. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. The end result, 21 yards.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
Handoff, running left. Here's Hall. And, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. It shows you right there, he can do more than just cover in the secondary from that free safety position.
Yeah, the evolution of the position has really been significant, hasn't it? Because a lot of teams no longer have a free safety, strong safety designation. They just have safeties. So wherever the ball is, one can be close to the line of scrimmage, one can be deep, and vice versa. On that play, how about that tackle we just saw? Pretty nice.
That's taken in, complete to Reynolds. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
That's tough to play zone defense when they can just curl up right there in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talk about finding the soft spot. Defensively, how do you make sure they don't find the soft spot like they did there?
Tough to do, because what they normally will do is run routes that'll pull you out of that spot that they want to get into. That's what we call not taking the cheese, right? Don't go for the mousetrap. But it's hard to do because when you see a guy cutting that in that direction, you tend to go towards him.
And a loss of 3 to bring up 4th.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half, and that trend is continuing here.
Here's the Jets punter now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And problem spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. The Steelers offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. They'll start this drive out on the ground. Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play. 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
They toss it to Warren. And he can muster only a couple here to the 24. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
3rd down and 6. Now Rodgers. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a 1st down. A strong 8 yards will keep this drive rolling.
No surprise to see his sideline fired up by that big play. Heck, we're fired up and we're supposed to be neutral. That's a quarterback putting his body on the line to fight and just barely get the first down. When he does something like that, it gets everyone ready to lay it all out there and try and match his intensity.
And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
Well, it's hard to have vision as a runner and find a hole when there's nothing but defenders in your way. They stacked that one up really well. But give him credit. Instead of trying to bounce it out and turn it into a big play, which might have turned into a big loss, kind of just took his medicine there and took the 1 yard.
Rodgers going to throw. A short one there to Freiermuth. Short completion, just 4 yards, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
3rd and 5. Up the middle they go. Warren. And this is going to be a Steelers first down as good running gets him to about the 44.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
A pair of first downs gives him a 1st and 10 up at the 44. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Warren, and he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning it in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Now a 2nd and 6. Now a handoff up the middle. Warren. And he'll take it across midfield down into Jet territory. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. They'll run with Patterson. And he has the first down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45.
That's quite a spot there for his first carry of the game, but obviously they had plenty of faith in him, didn't they?
No question about it. And here, why not go with the fresh legs? Able to push forward, pick up that first. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Up the middle they go. It's Warren, and he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. Quinnen Williams, so hard to block, and he shows it that time, making the tackle for loss.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
69 yards rushing for him now to this point.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. They'll come up facing 3rd and 5. Here's Rodgers. Oh, he had a man open. He overshot him. It's incomplete.
And in an afternoon where just about everything's gone right, there's an unlikely sight there. He's got a receiver all alone downfield, and he just overshoots him.
So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. He had the distance, but it's no good. Wide to the right, and the lead will hold at 3 touchdowns.
Well, Brandon, anything beyond 50, you start rolling the dice a bit. And once you get up around 57, 58 yards, the chances of making it go down dramatically. And sure enough, this one winds up no good.
The Jets ready to get going again here on offense. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Back to throw, Fields. And it's incomplete. Great coverage there all around. Really didn't have many options to throw the football.
Very little chance that that one was going to be completed. Every receiver was locked up.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Hall on a give up the middle. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss. And now it's 3rd down.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
I'm getting the sense that this offense is getting frustrated. Here we are into the 3rd quarter, and they've had plenty of opportunities to get in sync. Thus far, that hasn't happened. They're looking for answers both on the sidelines and in the huddle looking at each other.
Here's the Jets punter now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And as we look back at how we got here, you'll notice a common theme in these highlights. A lot of yardage through the air. The passing game has been sharp right from the outset. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And the way their last drive ended, boy, it was frustrating. They had a pretty good drive going. It was sustained, and then it stalled out, Charles, and they missed the field goal and got nothing out of it.
Is that insult to injury? Because they had such a sustained drive, as you noted. So you know for the head coach, it almost felt like a little bit of failure to send out the field goal unit and then to not even see the ball go through the post. What a bummer on that last drive for them. Got to pick themselves up from that one.
The first carry now. This is Johnson. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result. Negative yardage. 3rd down and 10. Back to throw. Rodgers. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble. Dangerous spot for them to cough it up. Lucky to have recovered because had the defense gotten it, they were already within a shadow of the goalpost.
Yeah, and you're yelling at your own defense. Sudden change, sudden change. That's not what you want to hear on your sideline. That means you got to run out there and try and stop an offense who has the ball in a very advantageous position.
Here's Cameron Johnston now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he's able to get it out of there. We'll call that a 49-yard punt with a return of just 2. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. And the Jets set to take the field. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
Fields. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Keanu Benton, the one who got in to bury him. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here at MetLife Stadium. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. Throwing on second down. Fields. This is Lazard with a catch out left. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down.
And that was yardage that they needed there after the sack on first down. They didn't get all of it back, but now they look at third down as a manageable situation, one that they have a much better chance of picking up.
This offense so far on third down, they're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. This will be 3rd and 5. And it's knocked away and incomplete. Broken up that time by Joey Porter Jr.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
4th down. Fields has to have this one. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Jets try it, but the 4th down play doesn't work. And this defense is going to get the football back near midfield, right at the 48. So the defense has to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. It doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They got it done. They're the ones that are jubilant.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 48. They'll start this drive out on the ground, and he'll take it across midfield down into Jet territory. Stopped in his tracks by Ahmad Gardner.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces, and I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. Calling a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 5. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. To throw, it's Rodgers. So that'll be no better than an incompletion, and it'll be 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
Here's Cameron Johnston now as he's on to punt for Pittsburgh. Yeah, this punt will go out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25, and it will. Right at the 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. Here's the Jet offense now. They head out to take over.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
I do think it's fair to say that they were caught off guard a little bit when he decided not to throw it on first down. But give them credit. They recovered in time to deny him the first down yardage. But it's only 2nd and short. So that run is still likely to lead to a new set of downs.
From the gun, here's Fields. Well, a tough throw there across his body. It's incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
They tried the throw on 2nd down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. Now they'll throw here out of the gun.
Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
So did you suspect the same thing that I did, that they were lining up just to draw them off sides here?
100%.
Well, how about that? They were going for it the entire time. Never a question in his mind about going ahead and getting it, despite where they were on the field.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard it in my voice when they snapped the ball. I was like, oh, I almost wasn't ready to call the play. I just kept waiting for the timeout offensively. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Here's Fields. He'll get this to Lazard. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. 12 more yards there and another 1st down. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And it's 2nd down. Out of the gun, Fields. Connection made to Ruckert. And they're going to have themselves another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 25-yard line. They give them 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. They'll give to Hall. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
2nd down and 4. A play fake, now Fields to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Beck. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
Well, this has certainly been a nice drive with the way they've spread the football around. Here, they even get the fullback involved in the passing game. That's got to cause a lot of consternation on the defensive side. You've got to cover him, too. That makes things really difficult.
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes in bounds. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and that will bring up 2nd down.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. That play gets them 6 yards and sets them up with a 1st and goal. Again, he'll drop to throw. Got a man, it's caught. Touchdown, Jets. Allen Lazard, a 1-yard touchdown reception. And the Jets are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter. So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you'd kept them out of the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on them. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
Carlson's extra point up and good, and that cuts the lead to 24-10. So that drive, 12 plays in length, and it ends with a Jet touchdown.
So now Carlson, after the touchdown, called on to send this one away. The visitors' offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And this defense might be about ready to wave the white flag. Nothing they have tried to throw at him has been that successful. He just processes things so quickly and makes a right read seemingly every time. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Now all of a sudden we've got an interesting game here. You just saw them go down and score a touchdown. And what was a comfortable lead at halftime, it's down to a two-score game.
And so the obvious thought is they've got to ramp things back up again. Got to get the offense into high gear. But we've seen this before. When you've kind of been in shutdown mode for a while thinking that you're okay, it's hard to mash the gas again and have everything work perfectly. They've got to fashion together a good drive right here and now.
Because defensively, got to be feeling confident. They haven't allowed a point this half. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
And this is the worry, because sometimes you can get a little too predictable in spots like this. You know you're going to run the ball, but they know you're going to run the ball as well. And now you look up and you're staring at an important third down.
They'll see about converting this 3rd and 8.
They'll keep it on the ground. Warren. They find some open field here. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
103 yards rushing for him now, as he has been tremendous all day long. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
He'll take this to the 46.
At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here is stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do, late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it. They've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock.
And his throw's going to be incomplete.
That incompletion certainly makes this upcoming 3rd down a little bit more crucial. They need to find the right play to convert here and maybe start to tamp down a little bit of the momentum the other side is starting to gain.
And they'll need the 39 here for a first. This is 3rd down. Throwing now is Rodgers. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. That'll go as a pickup of 8. And looking to put this game on ice in the 4th quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy, throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
They'll run on first down. It's Warren. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Starting to become a tough spot for this defense. You're down 4th quarter, looking a little fatigued maybe on that side of the ball.
Partner, we've seen this before, haven't we? Because every coach we've ever talked to says body language is important. And now you're seeing guys with their hands on their hips, they're bent over, hands on their knees. And the offensive guys, they're just saying, let's just keep running it out, and we've got them now.
And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. And that's some good tackling there to keep him short of that yellow line.
Yeah, defensively, all I'm thinking is that on that play, get me to 3rd down. Get me into a position where I can make one more play and get my defense off the field.
They'll look to make it 3 for 3 on 3rd down conversions. They need a yard here. Now a handoff up the middle. Warren. And he is going to have the first down, and that is going to suck the life right out of this crowd. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. Give them 3 yards and a fresh set of downs. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on second down. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. So they come up on second down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Warren, and they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. Up the middle they go. Warren. And this will leave them a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down. Another yard would probably put this thing in the books. It's 2nd and 1. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Nothing doing there as the 13th play of the drive proves to be unlucky. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
It's a gain of 4, and that should just about seal the deal. Starting to look like this drive, it may be the final nail in the coffin.
Well, this is why you work out so hard, right? This is why you spend all that time in the offseason. This is why you have those OTAs and mini camps for these situations, these scenarios, to run someone into the ground and secure a victory. Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something, and they did in this one. So this one in the win column for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it was a bit of a strange game. They were held scoreless through the entire second half, but their first half output, that's enough to carry them to victory.
And that's an odd game to watch, isn't it? Because when we saw the output in the first half, you think to yourself, okay, they've got something working here. They know what they're doing. They'll continue that along. But instead, it's goose eggs in the second half. Fortunately, enough of a cushion and enough defense to carry them home.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. With that, we say so long from MetLife Stadium.